Our psalm for today is Psalm 130. And it's a beautiful psalm. Reminds us that God hears the prayers of his people. The author also calls us to wait. And that's hard for me. I don't know about you, but I'm an impatient person. And I find myself being especially impatient with God. I want him to believe and trust that he does what he's going to do, but it's not always in the time that I want it to happen. And that's sin. That's putting my agenda over God. And so I'd like us to hear the first 4 verses and take a moment to confess the sin of impatience. Maybe you're impatient because you want him to intervene in a conflict or a frustrating physical ailment, or maybe discouragement, maybe looking for a job or looking for a spouse, or for midtown looking for a building. It was almost exactly a year ago today that we were supposed to be packing up and moving into this building behind us that's still sitting there empty, unused, by the way. I think about that every Sunday, and I feel a little impatient. But whatever it is, I want to encourage you to consider the words of the psalmist who calls us to wait for the Lord and to confess that. Confess it. I'm going to read it. We'll take a moment in silence. If you'd like to pray out loud, you're welcome to. If you'd rather pray in your heart, I encourage you to do so. Out of the depths, I cry to you, O Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the voice of my pleas for mercy. If you, O Lord, should mark iniquities, O Lord, who could stand? But with you there is forgiveness, that you may be feared. Father, I confess my impatience. Impatience with my relationships, with my physical limitations, or my mental limitations. I confess my impatience with you. Father, we know that you are sovereign and good, and it says in your word, all things work for the good of those who love you and are called according to your purpose, but that's not always in the time that we wish it was. But it's in your time, and it's a time that's good. We also get impatient with the sin of those around us when it impacts our lives. When we think of how you, Jesus, were patient with those who put you on you were patient with those who put you on the cross. Our sin put you there. We confess that, believing and knowing that you forgive, that there is forgiveness for those who look to you. We thank you for this. We lift our hearts and our words up to you. In your name we pray.
We're going to get into this next song. It might look a little bit complicated up on the screen. There's going to be several things you could sing. But the easiest will just be to sing the theme on the far left, and that's the theme that we'll sing first off. This is a song that we sang a lot in the early days of Midtown, so some of you might recognize it.
Oh,
Let it be known to you, therefore, brothers, that through this man, forgiveness of sins is proclaimed to you. And by him, everyone who believes is freed from everything from which you could not be freed by the law of Moses. Lord God, we thank you, Father, for your grace and your mercy to us through Jesus. We thank you for the deep love that you have for us, even in the midst of our impatience with you. You are forever patient with us. And we thank you, Lord, for the abundant patience demonstrated to us through Christ. Lord God, fill our hearts with your joy. Fill our hearts with gratitude. Fill our hearts with delight. And it's in Christ's name we pray. Amen. Amen. While you're still standing, I'm going to ask Alan if he would continue reading from our Psalms this morning.
I wait for the Lord. My soul does wait. And in his word do I hope. My soul waits for the Lord more than the watchmen for the morning. Indeed, more than the watchmen for the morning. O Israel, hope in the Lord. For with the Lord there is loving kindness, and with him is abundant redemption. He will redeem Israel from all iniquity.
good every once in a while, especially when circumstances around us say otherwise. It's good for us to take time to give thanks to the Lord and to proclaim the ways that we've seen His goodness. And so I just want to take an opportunity to allow you all to just call out things that you're thankful for. It could be a particular characteristic of God. It could be something in your life that you're thankful for. It could be anything. But while it's easy to complain or to be impatient, it's important that we're intentional to proclaim to one another what we're thankful for. So what are you guys thankful for? Who wants to go first? What are you thankful for? Be loud. Jeff.
Bible study.
Good to see you, Jeff. Jeff Tucker, no relation that we know of. Yeah.
I need a job and freedom to go out of where I'm living right now.
Good. Oh, yeah. Amen. Christ intercedes for us. What else are you all thankful for?
New tires.
For the truck?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, look at this. Say it again, Todd. I mean, look at this. Amen. He is. Yep. It's back.
Grandchildren.
Amen.
Amen for grandchildren. Okay, yeah, okay. New tires on his bike. Yep.
Grandchildren also the new babies and brothers like mom and dad.
Amen. So we got new members of Midtown Church, and I just have forgotten their name. The twins. What are their names?
Lillian and Lori.
Lillian and Rory. So congratulations, Abigail. That's wonderful. It's good to have you both there. First time in Midtown. What else? Anything else? Okay. Yeah. Daniel. Good. Amen. Amen. Anything else? Okay. Yeah, Alifa. His patience, yes. That he's patient with you, with us, with me. Praise God for his patience. Well, let me pray and give thanks to God. And also I'm going to pray for some of the needs that I know of in our church. So join with me, believing and knowing that He hears and responds. Father, we thank you first of all for your steadfast love, like the psalmist reminds us of at the very end, when he says, "For with the Lord there is steadfast love, and with Him is plentiful redemption." Father, we thank you that your love for us is steadfast, and nothing can take your love away from us, Lord. That you love us more than our own parents, more than our children, more than our spouse. You know us also more, so you know all the junk that is down in our heart, our minds, and in our deeds, and yet you still love us, and nothing can take that away. We thank you that there is plentiful redemption. And no matter what we've done, whatever weight of guilt we walked in here with, whatever stupid things we did this morning or this week, before you there is redemption, there is salvation, there is forgiveness. We rejoice in that. That is something to be thankful for. We're thankful for new tires and new jobs, and for grandchildren, new babies. Lord, we're thankful for the promise that death has lost its sting. We don't need to fear death, but we wear masks not because we should be afraid of death, but because we're conscientious of those around us, Lord. And we pray that you would ease the coronavirus so that we can soon gather together and not have to separate by 6 feet or wear masks. We pray that that would happen soon. We pray that during this time that you would use this for your glory, that people in our communities would begin to contemplate life and values that they have, that they would consider what is important to them, and that they would look to you and repent. But we also want to pray for South Sudan, Lord, where they need water. We thank you for Scott Brinkerhoff and his ministry there, the school, but they desperately need rain, and we pray that you would provide that for the crops and for their sustenance and flourishing. We pray for the ministry, the growth of the school. We pray that they would get the teachers they need and the funds. We pray for Scott as he continues to recover from his back surgery, that you would go back to full health soon. Father, we also lift up the ministries of Midtown. We thank you once again for the matching gift of $250,000. And we pray that you would provide, you would help us to know how to focus our time and energy and resources to meet the goal that we believe you've given us. And already have shown us that you're building your house, and our labor is not in vain. Father, we pray that you would speak to us through your word. We pray for the ministry of your word here, that you would speak to us, that it would not be the words of my mouth, but it would be the truth of your scripture that brings encouragement to those who need it. In your name we pray. Amen. You may be seated. And I'm going to switch over to this mic, and I hope it works this week. And so what I'd like to do, and I'm wondering how possible this is, but I think it's possible, is I want to invite those children whose parents are comfortable, okay, to get a chair. I've got some chairs here, but maybe have some of the children, if they are comfortable, come over and spread out all along here, because I'm going to give a sermon, but it's going to be a particular focus to children. So if you're comfortable with that, if you're a parent who's not, I want to keep my children, that is totally fine. But just bring a chair with you. So get your chair, Ace, go get your chair, and Heidi, and bring it. We'll kind of spread out a little bit. I might need some parents to help out. But we're gonna talk about somebody special, and we're gonna play a little game. You can sit with your siblings close, but I'm kind of spread out. Again, any parents that are willing to help, that'd be great. All right. Okay. Now here's the deal. Everybody look at me. I look here. Here's the deal. We'll do this, and I'm excited to do it because I miss having our little talks together. And we're going to play a couple games. And here's the deal. I'm going to ask you a favor. What I need you to do is I need you to stay in your chair, okay? And I need you to not to make sure you focus on me, okay? And if I ask you to do something like to close your eyes or raise your hand, then you would do that. Raise your hand if you're okay with that. Here's the deal, okay? All right, you got it? Okay, good. Then I think we're going to be fine. Oh, here's the other thing. If you raise your hand and you have something to say, you got to say it loud, because I don't have a microphone to put up to your mouth, so you got to say it loud. So it's so loud that India, raise your hand back there, so that India can hear it. See India back there? She needs to hear what you're saying right there. And so does Paulo back there. He needs to hear what you're saying. So you got to say it loud enough for them to hear. All right? Is that deal? Everybody thumbs up if you're good with that? All right. Ready? Okay. So I'm going to talk about a special person. And her name is Mary. Mary Magdalene. And she's a special person in the Bible because she had a little interaction with Jesus after he died and came out of the tomb. Okay? And I want to talk about that and what it means for us today, what it means for you, what it means for me. So we're going to learn a little something from John. So if you have a Bible, if you don't, that's okay, I'm going to read it. But if adults, if you have a Bible, John chapter 20, okay? John 20. And in John 20, Jesus comes out of the tomb. And Mary Magdalene and Peter and John go to the tomb, and they look in the tomb where Jesus was laid, and it was empty. It was empty. And they were kind of confused because they know that Jesus' body, after he died, after he was beaten, and after he was had a crown of thorns put on his head, he was put in that tomb. And so they went there, and they looked in, and he wasn't there. Mary went first, and she looked in there, and there was no Jesus. So she was upset. She's like, somebody took Jesus' body. Somebody kidnapped Jesus' body. And so she was concerned. Peter and John looked in there, And it says this. It says that John looked in, and John thought Jesus came back to life. John figured it out. He put it in his head. He thought, this showed the tomb is empty. Jesus came back to life. We don't know really what Peter thought yet, but Mary, she didn't think just like John. She thought she's different. She thought a little differently. And let's listen. So this is John 20, and it says this. I'm just going to read the first verse, and then we'll talk. But Mary stood weeping outside the tomb, and she wept. As she wept, she stooped to look in the tomb. So she stood weeping. So let me ask you this question. Raise your hand if you guys ever feel sad. What kind of things do you feel sad about? What kind of things, Luca, what kind of things do you feel sad about? Say it real loud. Say it loud. When your friends leave, okay? Yeah, that's good. I mean, that is sad. Yep, that's a good example when your friends go away. Yep, anybody else? Who else had their hand raised? Why do you feel sad? What makes you cry sometimes? You guys don't cry? Anybody cry? All right, yeah, James? Oh, because, did you cry? You cried when you were done with this book series? You almost cried. Was it because you were done with it and you were sad that it was over? Okay, gotcha. Very good. Good job being loud. Somebody died at the end of the book series. Well, don't tell us what it was because it might spoil it for somebody else. Anybody else? Who can tell me what kind of things make you sad to where you want to cry? Anything? Alright, you guys aren't as chatty as usual. Alright. Well, let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you a sad story that I heard a couple weeks ago on the radio. It was a story about a woman who was a little bit younger than me, and she was single. I think she was actually in her early 30s. And she loved her mom so much, but her mom got sick. And it was this kind of sickness that she's never going to get better unless it's a miracle. It was a sickness where she was going to die. And she was in the hospital, and she had to live in this special hospital, her mom. And the sickness made it so that she couldn't move her body. She just had to sit in bed. Her mom did. And so this made the girl very sad. And she would go every day to the hospital to visit her mom. And sometimes she would bring flowers, and sometimes she would just sit and talk to her mom. And her mom couldn't talk, but she could blink her eyes. And sometimes her mom would communicate by blinking her eyes to her daughter. And that's how they would communicate. And almost every day, the girl would go visit her mom, and it gave her mom lots of joy when she was very sad. Well, 2 months ago, the coronavirus happened. And you know what happened? Because of the coronavirus, at the hospital, they wouldn't let anybody come in to the hospital unless you were a patient there in the hospital. And so they told this woman, they said, you know what? She showed up and she said, this is going to be your last time to see your mom until the coronavirus goes away. And that could be weeks, that could be months or longer. And so she had to go into the hospital and tell her mom, Mom, I'm not going to be able to come back again. And I don't know how long that's going to be. It may be a long time before I can see you again. And she also knew that her mom may die. And so she had to say, you know, and this may be the last time we see each other. And she said her mom started weeping and crying, and she started weeping. And she started crying even while she was telling the story. And that, you know what, that made me cry. Like I was in the car driving down the road and I was crying and I was, really sad about that. And that's a sad story. And it's sad because it's hard to be separated from the people that we love. And they're important to us. And in this story, Mary loved Jesus. And you know why she loved Jesus? Because Jesus changed her life. She spent time with Jesus. When Jesus met Mary, she was possessed. It tells us, I think in the book of Matthew, it says that she had 16 demons in her. In other words, she was a big mess. She was in a lot of problems. And Jesus came in and helped her and loved her and welcomed her in a way that nobody else did. And so she loved Jesus and she learned from Jesus and she followed Jesus. And now Jesus has died. And so listen to what it says. Mary, she's at the tomb, she's weeping, and she saw two angels that were dressed in white. So she stooped, she looked in, and she saw something. She saw two angels sitting in there. How cool is that? Sitting where the body of Jesus was laid, one at the head and one at the feet. And they said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" And she said to them, "They have taken away my Lord, and I do not know where they have laid him." Having said this, she turned around and saw Jesus standing, but she did not know it was Jesus. Isn't that weird? Like, she saw angels, and then she turned around, and the person that she had spent a lot of time with, who had meant so much with her, standing right there, and she didn't recognize, she didn't know who it was. Turned around, saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't know it was Jesus, and Jesus said to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking?" Supposing him to be the gardener, she said to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will come take him away." Jesus said to her, "Mary." And she turned and said to him in Aramaic, "Rabboni," which means teacher. So she recognized him. And Jesus said to her, "Do not cling to me," or in other words, do not hold tight to me. "For I have not yet ascended, I have not yet gone up to the Father, but I go to Mary, go to my brothers and say to them, I am ascending to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God." So she gave Mary something to do. Go tell everybody else to come and that I'm going. Mary Magdalene went and announced to the disciples, "I have seen the Lord, and that he has said these things to her." So that's a little interaction between Mary and Jesus right after she came back to life. Now it's interesting. First of all, I just want to say, how cool is that of all the people that were special to Jesus, Mary's the first one that he talked to, right? Now in that day and age, it's just sad, I hate to say it, feel bad saying it, but back then, women were not that important. And that's the way they thought. It was sad, it wasn't right. We're glad things are a bit different now. But back then, women and mothers were not very important. Children weren't that important and in society. And also, so Jesus, he could have chose a disciple. He could have chose his mom. He could have chose his closest friends, Peter, James, and John. But he didn't. You know who he chose to show himself to? Mary. And that is special for her. But she didn't get it. She didn't see and recognize who it was at first. At first she didn't. And the question is, why not? John got it. He understood. But Mary didn't get it. And so why is that? Why is it that she didn't recognize Jesus? And there's all kind of theories about that. People have wondered about that. So what I'd like to do, I want to do a little game. You guys ready for a game? We're going to run a little test to try to understand why Mary didn't recognize Jesus, okay? Because we know it's light outside now because she looked in the tomb and saw clothes, so there's got to be some sunlight, okay? And we know she knows Jesus. She spent time with him, okay? So we're going to run a little test, be kind of like investigators. So I want everybody to close your eyes, okay? Close your eyes. Close, I don't want to see any eyes. And I'm going to ask person number one to come up. Close your eyes. Don't look. And I'm asking somebody to come up, and I'm going to make it a little hard on you. It's going to be even a little harder than Mary, because I'm going to have this person keep their mask on, okay? And I'm going to see if you can recognize who this is. Now, don't say it. If you think you know who it is, raise your hand. Don't say it out loud, okay? All right, you ready? It's going to be tough. I don't know if you're going to get it. Ready? Okay, everybody look. And if you know who it is, raise your hand. Don't say it, okay? If you know who that is, who is this? Raise your hand if you know who this is. You can look, Ace. You can look. All right, let's go with Will. Who is this? Ms. who? Ms. Greta Steerwald. Okay. Everybody who raises raise your hand if you think Will is right. Raise your hand. Good job. Good job. Well done, Greg. Give her a hand. All right. You guys are good. That might have been easy because she's the prayer director, so maybe everybody knows her. It might have been an easy one. But let's try something maybe a little harder. So close your eyes again, okay? So far, you guys are doing better than Mary, all right? And let's get person number 2 to come up. Close your eyes, no looking. All right, a little tougher. All right, you ready? Okay, open your eyes. Don't say it out loud. Raise your hand if you think you know who this is. Raise your hand. Okay. You guys don't know? You're not sure? Take a good look. Look at him. Look at him. Head to toe, everybody. You got some ideas? Anybody want to take a guess? You want to take a guess? All right, Abigail, who do you think this is? What? Luca's dad. Luca's dad. Luca, raise your hand. Do you agree with that? Okay, everybody raise your hand if you think this is Luca's dad. All right, good. Well, you're done. Good job. A round of applause for you guys this time. Good job. You guys are already doing better than Mary. Why wouldn't Mary recognize Jesus? Jesus probably wasn't wearing a mask. And you guys recognize those two even with a mask on, right? All right. So we're going to make it a little harder for you. Okay? A little harder. This time I'm just going to let you listen to a voice. Okay? So close your eyes. I'm gonna have 2 people say something, and I'm gonna see if you can recognize the voice. Okay? So, close your eyes. Okay, so person number 1. This is person number 1. Let's hear what they have to say.
Why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?
Okay, did you guys hear that voice? Okay, raise your hand if you think you know who that was. Raise your hand if you think you know who that was. All right, Felix. Who was that? You don't know her name? Whose mommy is it? Autumn's mommy. Okay, raise your hand if you guys think that's Autumn's mommy. Guess what? You got it. You got it. Okay. Now the second one, this is going to be probably the hardest one of all, right? Okay, so close your eyes and listen. Okay? Listen to the voice of the second person. Go.
Why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?
Okay. Anybody have a guess? Okay, Saul, who do you think that was? Mr. Schwam? I don't know. Will, who do you think? Mr. Schwam, you're going to agree with that? What do you think, James? Mr. Schwam? Raise your hand if you think it was Mr. Schwam. Man, you guys are good. Round of applause for these kids, man. So, how is it then that if you can recognize somebody with a mask on, and you can recognize somebody just through their voice, and here's Jesus with no mask, and he says those exact words, why are you weeping? Whom are you seeking? And Mary can't recognize him. Why is that? Why is it that she doesn't recognize? What do you think, Saul? What? Go ahead. Loud. Yeah. She's super sad. And yeah. Those are the exact points of my sermon. You're looking at my notes? Okay. One is because she's super, super sad. She's so sad. She's so sorrowful. And can't we say that when we are really sad, sometimes we're not thinking straight? Sometimes when we're really angry or really sad, and sometimes even when we're really happy, like when we have strong emotions, when we're really upset, sometimes, even Pastor Mark, we're not thinking straight. We're not thinking straight. And so our sadness affects our ability. Mary's sadness is affecting her ability to see Jesus. It's affecting her ability to trust that Jesus is right there in front of her. And that's so true for us sometimes. When we're really sad or upset, it's hard for us to trust God. It's hard for us to trust Jesus. It's hard for us to see Jesus. It's hard for us to trust our parents, right? or people that are in charge of us, or the government. It's hard for us to trust them when we're really, really sad, or really, really scared, or really, really upset. And that's where Mary is. The other reason Saul said it, and this is probably the most impactful one, is because last time she saw Jesus, he was dead. And scientifically, medically speaking, I'm not a doctor, but I think Tim would verify this. When you're dead, you're dead. You're not going to come back to life. Most of the time, when people die, they stay dead. And so it makes sense Mary, who's sad, also is believing the truth of what we all know, and that is that when Jesus died, he was going to stay dead. And so for us also, when we look at our sadness and sorrow, we think that nothing sometimes is going to change it. Mary was sad because she believed that Jesus was dead. And just like Mary, it makes us hard. You guys, I know, even as an adult, so I know it's the same for you, when we're really sad, when we're really scared, really upset, it's hard for us to trust and see that Jesus is working and that he's alive, and to trust him. So that's the second thing. The first thing I want to talk about is why did Mary see Jesus? The second thing is what helps us to see Jesus. Okay? What helps us to see Jesus when we're sad? What helps Mary to see Jesus? So, we're going to play another little game, okay? And I want to put a picture up there. Abel, if you could put a picture up there. Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Yeah, Andrew. Marvel characters, Marvel superheroes and supervillains. And I grew up and I love superheroes when I grew up. So we're going to play a little game. And I'm going to point to a superhero, and you raise your hand if you think you know who it is, okay? All right? Who's that? Everybody say. Captain America, you guys are good, okay? Let's go. Okay, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. Okay. Let's go with James. Flash. Everybody agree with that? Oh, man, okay, come on. Okay, well, this is a mixture. Yeah. They're all mixed together. Okay. Now, here's a question. Who's this? Well, just say it. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. And another one I was going to ask about, who's this? Anybody adults? Marcus? Oh, Alan. Alan. Who? B-I-N-G? Oh, Bane. Okay. Bane, okay. Bane. You guys know what Bane? Okay. Who is another one? Oh, who is this? Who's up there in the blue up there, purple? Who's that up there with an H or whatever that is? Yeah, anybody know that? Yeah, Andrew. Who's Hawkeye? Okay. And you know who my favorite is? Spider-Man. One thing I love about superheroes that wear masks, I love the place in the books and the movies where they reveal who they are. I love that. Like when they're with their girlfriend, you know, and they're talking, and he says, I like in the movie Batman where he's like, I am Batman, right? I love the reveal when the secret's out and you make it known who they are in real life without their mask. In this story, and you can put that down, Abel. In this story, Jesus, he reveals himself, okay? He reveals himself to Mary. And it's important to know a couple things. First of all, Mary was sad, and she was scared, and she was sad because Jesus was dead, and the tomb was empty. But, you know what she did? She looked for Jesus. She kept looking. She wanted to know. She was like, where have you put him? Where have you put his body? She kept looking. And it's important for us, as when we're sad and when we're scared, that we're always looking for Jesus, that we're looking. And sometimes looking means reading the Bible, and it means talking to your parents or your pastor, me or Aaron. But looking for Jesus means asking questions. You know, sometimes in my life, when I've gone through hard times, you know, and I was really sad about something, I've had to say, God, where are you? Are you here? Are you taking care of this? Are you with me? Do you still love me? Are you still in charge? And I have to ask those questions. And then I go into the scripture and I read it. And it tells me, God reminds me in his word, I am with you always. Never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. Nothing can separate you from me. And those words encourage my heart. So I just want to encourage you guys. Like when you're sad, when you're afraid, when you're scared, when something's going on that doesn't make sense, that you look to Scripture. I remember I was invited by a good friend of mine, or actually a good friend of mine in college, came to me. He was crying, he was weeping. And he said, can you drive me home? And he lived like 5 hours away. And I was like, well, why? What's going on? He said, my mom's in the hospital, and they think she might die. Can you drive me to the hospital in Roanoke, Virginia? So I said, yeah, let's go. We drove through the night, got there the next morning, and went to the hospital, and his mom was dying. And she had surgery that didn't work. And his dad was there. And while we were there, his mom died, and all his brothers and sisters were weeping. And the dad was weeping, and his dad pulled out in his pocket, he had some cards. And they were old and yellow. You ever seen how paper, when it's old, it kind of turns yellow and crinkly? You ever seen that? It was yellow, crinkly paper. And it was like this big. And he was flipping through them like that. And I asked Matt, I said, Matt, what's your dad doing? And he goes, oh, those are his prayer cards. He has verses from Scripture on his cards. And whenever he's going through a hard time, he reads those cards. And it encourages him. And, I thought, what a great thing to do. Because just like Mary was looking for Jesus, so also Matt's dad was looking towards Jesus in his sadness. So anyway, we got Mary, she's looking for Jesus, and Jesus reveals himself to her. Just like superheroes do. Jesus says, Mary! He calls her, and for whatever reason, that causes her eyes to open, and she recognizes, Rabbi, not teacher. And she recognizes that it's Jesus, not a gardener. And we all need that. We need Jesus to reveal himself to us. We need that. Because by ourselves, on our own strength, with our own brilliant minds, and the scientific world, we can't find Jesus without him revealing himself. He has to show himself to us. And he does that through his word, through the Bible, and through our parents, and through church, and through Sunday school, and through the many ways that Jesus reveals himself to us, just like he did to Mary. He says, Mary. Now, there's a weird thing that's going on here. Let me ask you guys. Let me see if you guys think we got to get our theological detective hats on, see if we can figure this out. Because many, many people for hundreds of years have tried to figure out what Jesus says to Mary. Because he says this. He says, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. Do not cling to me. In other words, don't hold tight to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father, but go to my brothers and say to them that I'm going to the Father. So he says, don't hold tight to me, because I haven't gone up to the Father. And a lot of people are like, what is Jesus talking about? What does that mean? Does that mean he's like a ghost and she would try to grab onto him and her arms would be like, what? Maybe? I don't know. Some people have thought that. What do you guys think? What do you think Jesus means when he says, Mary, don't hold on to me. I haven't gone up to heaven yet. What do you think, Andrew? Say it loud. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he's talking about when he goes back to heaven, and I think that is absolutely part of it. Anybody else have any ideas what Jesus means when he says, don't hold on to me, Mary, I'm going up to my Father? You guess? Well, you're like me then, because I really had no idea. And I've heard all kinds of interesting things. And we don't know, and we can ask Jesus when we get to heaven and we see him face to face. But here's what we can know. Here's what we can know. We can know that Jesus was planning to go up to the Father, and that Mary should hold tight to him. He hadn't gone up yet. He's still there. He's going to go. And he's got something for Mary to do. I think it's kind of like this. Does this ever happen in your house? Where your mom has a job for you to do, and she needs you to go clean your room, but you don't want to? because you want to stay on screens, or you want to hold, maybe when you were little, your brother says they hold on your mom's legs like this, and your mom or your dad's walking and he's got a baby on one leg. You ever seen that? And the dad said, don't hold on to me right now. I've got to go to work and I need you to go do your homework. Something like that. Or I need you to go play with your Lego. Well, I think that's kind of what's going on with Mary. Jesus is saying, Mary, don't hold on to me now. Don't hold on to me. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Don't hold on to me. Because I've got something for you to do. I'm not going to the Father yet, but I've got something for you to do. A very important job. Okay? I need you to go tell the others about what's happened, that you found me. Because I'm going to be going pretty soon. But before I go, Mary, I've got something I need you to do. So don't hold on to me. I think that's most likely what is going on here. And here's what that means for us. Sometimes when we're sad and scared, and we feel like we don't know what's going on, and we want to hold on to our parents, or we want to hold on, and we have struggle seeing Jesus, and then Jesus is there, and we maybe are feeling good about that, and it's tempting for us to hold on to that and to stay there, but Jesus has things for us to do. He's got some things for us to do. Just like he's got Mary, he's got her something to do. In our sadness, it's easy for us to think, I don't want to do I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go tell other people about Jesus. I don't want to, maybe go to church. I don't want to do these things because I'm sad and I'm angry and I don't understand what's going on. And I feel that way too sometimes. All right? Let's see what others feel. Adults, do you guys ever feel like that when you're sad and you're angry, you're scared, you're confused, and you just feel like, I don't really want to do what I know I need to do? Anybody feel like that ever, adults? You guys raise your hand? Yeah, look at that. It's normal, but that doesn't mean it's good. It's normal, but it doesn't mean it's good. Let me ask you this. What are some things that Jesus wants us to do? What are some things that Jesus wants you to do in this world? Reasons that he's put you here. Anybody have ideas? Raise your hand and tell me, what are some things that Jesus wants you to do? Yeah, Lydia. He wants you to believe in him. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Which is hard sometimes, like Mary. What else? What other things that Jesus wants you guys to do? What does he want you guys to do? Felix. To tell other people that he came out of the grave, that he's alive. That Jesus is alive, and that's good news, and that he forgives our sins. Absolutely. That's something he wants us to do. And it's hard to do that when we're sad. Yeah, Saul. What? To help other people. A lot of people right now need help. Sometimes we need help. We're called to serve them, to pray for them. One of the things that we're called to do is to pray for others. So I can do that every Sunday here. Andrew. Love your neighbor, and that's hard sometimes when your neighbor can be frustrated. That's right. Any other things that we're called to do, guys, you can think of? Yeah, Felix. Worship him, that's right. Obey your father and mother. Now, are we supposed to do that only when they are nice and they do what we want? They say what we want? Yeah, Augie? Always. That's right. Always. That's right. James? Not murder. Yeah. 10 Commandments. Yeah. That's right. Not put other gods. So he's listed the 10 Commandments. Those are the things we're supposed to do. Lydia? Don't make idols. Don't worship other things more than God. You guys are we're getting warmed up. The adults are listening. These are the ways that we're supposed to live. And even though it's hard, it's especially hard when we're sad or angry or confused and that we don't see Jesus. Okay? But that's what we're called to do. So we'll finish with that. Let me pray, and then I'll have you guys go sit back down and we'll have communion, okay? Father, we thank you for our children. We thank you that you love us. Lord, I thank you so much that you reveal yourself, just like you did to Mary. You reveal yourself to us. And Lord, one day, like Mary, we're going to hear our names on your lips. You're going to call us. You're going to say our name and look at us face to face. Lord Jesus, come quickly. Lord, I pray that you would help these children, our responsibility to grow in their knowledge of you and their love for you, always believing that you will never leave or forsake them. Help us to live that out before them as well. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, you guys can go back. You can take, if you took a chair, you can take a chair if you want, unless you already have a chair. No, go back and sit down. And we're going to invite the music team to come up. Okay. As we prepare our hearts to take communion, I want to invite everybody here to consider their own seeing of Jesus. How have you been lately seeing Jesus? Whatever the challenge is in your life, could be very painful, could be very scary, or it could be the thing you're finding. In fact, sometimes the thing that keeps us from seeing Jesus is when everything just seems good, right? We forget to look to Jesus. And as we go into communion, what we're saying is that we believe that when Jesus gathered with his disciples and he took bread and he broke it and he said, "This is my body, do this in remembrance of me." And he took a cup and he said, "This is my blood, do this in remembrance of me." That in doing that, as we do that now, we're experiencing the body and blood of Jesus. We're experiencing this personhood in a mysterious way. And so I encourage you to consider that this is a time where, like Mary, we can behold the presence of Jesus in the community of his people. And to confess that as you come up, as you're walking up, to confess that we can be like Mary with blinded eyes and looking to our own sorrows more than we're looking to Jesus. So if you're a believer, then this is a meal that is meant for you. If you're not someone who is giving your life to Jesus, then we ask you not to partake. And what you're going to do is come forward during the singing of this last song. Come forward when you're ready with your family or on your own, and take one of these sets of cups. On the top, there's a cup for juice. Under it is a cup with a little bread wafer. So you can take that, and when you're done, you can put it in, hold on to it. There's some trash cans scattered to and fro. But this is his body. This is his blood. Brothers and sisters, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, you're beholding Jesus. Would you stand with me? Let me pray, and then we'll sing. Father, we thank you so much for your love for us. Thank you that your body, your blood is given to us every week in this supernatural way, this otherworldly way. We are joined together with you and with each other. Thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your grace. Amen. Yeah, and also, while you're coming, if you have offering, we have offering plates right here. Welcome. Put them in there.
Jesus came forward, Word became flesh, and the light shined among us. Glory revealed, filling me, loved me, dying he saved me, bearing he carried me, my sin far away. Rising he justified, freely forever. One day he's coming, oh glorious day, oh glorious day. And the real nation stretched out on a tree and took the nails for me. Living God, dying to save me, buried me, carried me, my sins far away. Rising me justified, breathing forever. One day he's coming, oh glorious day, oh glorious day. One day the trumpet will sound, for it's coming. One day the skies will be glorious and shine. One day my beloved will breathe. My Savior Jesus is mine. Living He loved me, dying He saved me, buried He carried me, my sins far away. Rising He justified, breathing forever. One day He's coming, oh glorious day, oh glorious day, glorious day, glorious day.
Amen. Brothers and sisters, lift now your hands to receive benediction. Repeat after me. Now unto him who is able to keep us from falling and who is able to present us faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both now and forever. Amen. All right, just a few announcements. One is we have a meeting, a congregational meeting to consider Marcus Whitman's nomination for the session and Sarah Schwalm's nomination for the diaconate, and that will be July 26th. Right? And that would be a time, like between now and July 26th, if you have any particular questions, like more personal questions that you would want to ask Sarah or Marcus before that date, this is the time to contact them and be able to ask some of those questions in private. Also, and you will have opportunity to ask questions at the meeting, but especially if they're more personal, take the time to do that with them in private. No big surprises on that one. Also, we have youth evangelism CD in the schedule in the Midtown Notes. If you don't get the Midtown Notes, our announcements, and you would like to get them, please talk with Mark so we can get your name on that email list. But we are going out. Liz and I, me and Liz Havens went out yesterday, had a good night talking with people. So we would love to have more of you come out with us. Let's see, any other announcements? Any other announcements out there? All right, well, I think that's
Oh, freedom tastes good. Did you see the picture yet or me?
No,
Okay, well, I can tell you.
Susan's got the coronavirus. Stream now. I gotta end the stream now.